You know, Tim, I've always heard you talk about white label, good and bad and the ugly and otherwise, right? And I just want to know, is there a better term for white label, being that white label comes with a bag of stigmas?
I think just like anything, right? I think there's people that are very good, in white label. There's people that really aren't. But there's also one of the things that we've identified over the last 10 or 11 years is that there's different levels of white label. So in our estimation, there are platforms that offer you software that your team can use, and there's a good market for that. There's also vendors. And those are, you might find someone on Upwork that you really click with that becomes your go-to in a certain area. There's also individual companies that focus and specialize in a certain area. Those are good vendors. Partnership to us is, we align from an ad ops operational standpoint with the agencies that we work with, and we work with successful agencies. So we don't work with a lot of startups here. We work with successful agencies who have real game, in their markets, in their lanes. And we've got to not only mirror that, we've got to exceed that. We've got to bring them performance at a level that helps them scale. So we think there's a number of different ways to look at white label. Inherently, the name brings up connotations of set it and forget it and things like that. But
Yeah, outsource. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Right. I mean, we don't outsource, we don't offshore because we identified, really white label is wholesale and margins can be thin. There's a lot of white labels that offshore. And, to us that's just not our business model. If it works for them, then that's terrific for them. But for us, having our entire team right here in 25,000 square feet of digital heaven, that's that's the way that we prefer to move forward. So
I love that, breaking down three different levels of white label, and the fact that platform is like, there's plenty of platform partnerships. There's plenty of people out there that are using really great platforms. There are vendors. And I'm glad you said that, because there are a lot of people out there being like, I'm an agency. It's like, no, brother, you're on Fiverr doing websites. Like, you're not an agency. And then there are partnerships. And I love the distinction, because that I'm big on that. I love partnerships. I love the idea of what that means. I love that there's an alignment and there's a deeper connection to helping other people scale their business. And I don't think you can do that being a vendor. The vendors are very much what, they do something and then they move on to the next thing, and they do something and they move on to the next thing. And rarely do they ever kind of go deep with one organization to see that they succeed, right? And so I call them like mercenaries in a lot of ways in terms of the way that they run their business. And so I think that's really great. Hey, thank you for spending a few minutes with us here at Agency Talk. Now, the most important thing you can do right now is take action. So go apply what you learn.